So welcome, have a great experience, and I hope I can help you in some way down the road.
Thank you, Dr. Doyle. Welcome, everyone. I have to say, we have been waiting for you for weeks from the time the invitation goes out via email or you see it on our website. We see your names come through, and it's now so fun to have you with us. And it always amazes me that our name and reputation, the Hazelden Betty Ford name and reputation, is it's far and wide, and it draws you in from all over the world. Today, we have registrants from Canada, Cyprus, Mexico, Australia, Ireland, Bermuda, the Philippines, South Korea, and of course the United States. But it just blows my mind that the name and reputation, it's everywhere because of the good work that people have been doing here for years and years and years. Hazelden Betty Ford has been around for 75 years, and the graduate school has been around for 25 years, going on 26. So we'll get into that a little bit more as we present today. But my name is Leanne Brown. I'm the Dean of Student Affairs, as Dr. Doyle said. I've been here for 10 years, and I oversee the non-teaching side of the graduate school. And it's my pleasure to oversee the people who walk alongside you from the very first touch, first call, first email, all the way through to when you get licensed and you get a job in the future. So it's my pleasure. It's fun getting to know all of you. Today, we are going to be talking through some background about the graduate school and the foundation, Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation. We'll talk about academic programs and licensing, how to apply. And some of you have already applied. Some of you have already been admitted. So nice job on that. Cost and financial aid, so important for this decision to enroll with us. So we'll cover that. And probably your favorite part today will be hearing from our graduates and our current students. So we have about five grads and students who will be joining us at the end of the program too. So be ready with your questions. My challenge to you all, and start early. On your screen, you can see that there's an area where you can ask us questions or interact with us. Behavior of very good students is to be engaged, right? To get to know your faculty members, to ask questions, to get to know people, build your network. While you're with us today, I hope that you will use that Q&A to let us know who you are, where you're from, why you're joining, have you applied, what questions do you have? Start to enter all of that so that we can see it. And we can see that on our side. And all of us are
Oh, darn. Well, I was giving myself a little bit of a look into this. I'm going to go back there soon as I get onto my calendar and find the link again, because that's interesting. I was meaning to just minimize it so that I would get back into it, and there it is. So
slides today as well, so you'll hear from her.
Where's my?
And here's a peek.
So if you're with me, we're doing is we're recording a little bit of this introduction.
They'll be sharing where they're joining from, what their degrees are.
So recording a little bit of this pitch.
Doing for their professional life.
Enter my question.
We also have some
it doesn't allow me
joining us today as well. So Kayla, Jennifer, and Christina will be presenting in a few minutes as well. So with that, I am going to turn over to Jen Rio, and you can share the next few slides.
Hi, everyone. Let's briefly introduce myself. I know Leanne already did. I am the interim dean of academic affairs here. I'm also a core faculty member. I've been here for about 3.5 years. So, answer any questions you have about the academic side. So, we'll delve right in here.
To know that it's referred to Dr. Peters to this and friends.
Locations that we have across the country.
This person.
Our graduate school is housed in Center City, Minnesota. However,
so thank you all for joining. If you're interested, great. If you're not, feel free to tune it out. I'm recording it for my own purposes.
With the graduate
but I'm also
all across the country. You can see Washington, Oregon, California, Florida, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and New York. So many of our students who do join us from all across the country do their internship and practicum placements at various sites across the country. So that is one perk if you do come to the graduate school, that we do have that partnership with the foundation. And here we are in Minnesota. So Center City, I actually reside in Michigan, so I am a remote faculty / interim dean. But for those of you that maybe perhaps are coming to us from Minnesota, we are in Center City. So if you join the hybrid program, I will talk a little bit about the two programs that we do have. Classes do mainly take place in Center City, but at times we do have classes in St. Paul and the Twin Cities as well. And then Maple Grove, Plymouth, Chaska, St. Paul, and Center City are where we have our clinical site as well for Hazelden and Betty Ford. So you can see kind of across Minnesota here. So I'll tell a little bit about the graduate school itself, which I will say has really grown and emerged since it first began. The training within the graduate school started in the 1960s and was primarily focused on addiction. So the Hazelden Chemical Dependency Counselor Training Institute. We have shortened the name of it since then. We are the longest continuous provider of alcohol and drug counselor training in the United States. And the program has really emerged. It was primarily an addiction studies program. I would say now we do identify as a counselor education program. So I think that's really important to know. Almost all of our students do seek licensure. So licensure as an alcohol and drug counselor and or licensure as a licensed mental health clinician as well. So that is one thing if you come to our program seeking licensure so that you can provide treatment services is the path that most of our students do take. The Institute has educated more than 550 graduates. I know Leanne was talking about how all of the attendees are from really all over the world. We have had graduates from North and South America, Europe, Asia, Middle East, and Africa. And I don't have a number off the top of my head, but I think the master's program has had well over 1,000 graduates at this point. So we continue really to attract students from all over the country and even all over the world. And that is one thing I've really enjoyed about my time here. I have taught in other counselor ed programs, but the diversity of our students is something that I think we all learn from one another and learn from each other. And something I've really enjoyed about my time here as well.
Persephone, long time no see.
So our students,
Mo righteous also.
We don't necessarily have
Good to have you all with us. I'm just screening.
Student body. We definitely do get students. So if you are in an undergraduate program, let's say psychology,
Hi, Origin.
You're considering
just screening a
webinar. We don't have students
and sharing it with everybody.
Take that more of a traditional route, but the average age of our students is 44. We do have students who, it's funny, lawyers, doctors, nurses, HR professionals, students who are in the FBI previously. Really, they, come from really diverse backgrounds. Aging in range from 23 all the way up until 73. So again, as I was saying earlier,
73, I'm in rain.
Really diverse. And, I think a lot of our students maybe had a previous career and, are looking for, some added purpose in their life and decide to pursue counseling. So that is something that, again,
that's sort of my
time here,
counseling
and a strength of our program. 60% of our students are female, 39% are male. That's pretty characteristic of most counselor education programs. It is primarily females who enter the counseling profession. We currently have 37 states represented and 3 countries, so Brazil, Canada, and Iceland. Next, telling you a little bit about our graduate school and kind of how we operate. We operate from a scholar practitioner model. So again, you take all of your coursework, right? But then part of our program is doing your practicum and internship, which we consider your clinical experiences. So it's basically taking what you have learned in all of your courses, this kind of the theoretical basis, and then learning to apply that through your clinical experiences. I shared this earlier, but our students may apply for a practicum and internship with other Hazelden Betty Ford facilities. And so we already have that relationship with the foundation.
Unusual episode of the Passing Show, but I'm probably going to be doing more things like this as I
You have to have a supervisor who is a licensed counselor in order to seek a practicum or internship site at that location. But you have autonomy depending on where you live regarding the practicum and internship placements that you choose.
It's interesting.
We have a training director, Dr. Matt Globiak, who's awesome, and he will help students identify clinical experiences. Depending on the state that you live, we kind of have a list of previous
talk less.
agencies that our students
If you have questions, you can put them in the
placements
chat.
with. And so our training director can definitely help guide you during that process as well. Next year, I kind of was talking a little bit earlier about how we've kind of grown and emerged from an addiction studies program to a counselor education program. A couple of years ago, we were granted accreditation from KCREP, which is a big deal. If you know anything about counselor education programs, there was a lot of work that went into this. One thing that really helps if you come to a counselor or a KCREP accredited counselor education program is with licensure. So many different licensure boards in various states do want their licensees to be accredited, come from an accredited program. And so our coursework is built upon our KCREP standards. And if you want to delve into what KCREP is, if you're not already familiar with it and what it all entails, there's a link to the website there. So again, as I touched on earlier, we do have two programs, our hybrid program and our online program. So our hybrid program is a mix of on-campus courses, as I said, in Center City, and then the St. Paul location occasionally. And then you also take, I would say, about half of your classes online as well. So they are not fully in person. The hybrid program and both the online program are 60 credit hours, which again is a KCREP requirement. Students do vary in how they take their courses, how long it takes them. You have an hour as well. Some of our students are full-time. I would say most of them are. We also have part-time students. If you start off full-time and you're like, okay, I need to take a step back here. This is too much with my work, family life, whatnot. You do always have the option to go to part-time as well. Or you can do vice versa. You can start off part-time, maybe you're taking a couple courses and you kind of want to ramp up. You can move to full-time. So you do have autonomy with that. But if you do it full-time, it is 20 months. All of our courses that are in person are evening courses, I would say 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. or after. And our curriculum, again, as I've kind of shared, we do have a...
Oh, darn. Clicked the wrong thing again. That'll happen. Get back there. Calendar. And you can see my calendar. That's all right. Boom. Let's get it back on. And let's blow this thing up. Oop.
co-occurring lens more than anything else.
Okay, I'm not going to blow it up large.
Our hybrid program does include observation. So I believe it's 30 hours. One of your courses, you go on and observe a treatment site and observe counseling in action, and then 700 hours of clinical practice. And so we have a practicum experience, which is 100 hours, and then you have 2 internships. So basically, you have 3 courses that are solely dedicated to clinical practice. Your internships are each 300 hours. So there is a total of 700 hours of supervised clinical experience that you would complete as part of your requirements here. And our program does meet the requirements to pursue the following credentials. So this is only Minnesota that we're focusing on right now. However, you can seek licensure in almost every single state. We do have an entire licensure page dedicated to letting you know whether or not our program meets the requirements for licensure in your state, and that's both the mental health as well as any substance use credential that you would want to pursue as well. But for Minnesota, we do meet the requirements for the LADC, which is licensed alcohol and drug counselor, as well as the licensed professional counselor. And then the LPCC is basically after you graduate, you become an LPC, and then you work under supervision for a few more years to pursue the LPCC, and that gives you full autonomy to, you can even go open up your own practice at that point.
Huh.
And then again, other related
And Jay Sharp, thanks for joining.
Again, if you go to
Just
our website and our
recording a webinar I'm
you
attending
can see whether or not the state
to see if I want to go into graduate school
whether or
in the
not
Master of Arts in Addiction Counseling online program through Hazelden Betty Ford or not.
And then it's an online program, which again, we attract students from all over the country. I think I shared earlier, 37 different states. Our online program is also 60 credit hours. Courses are completed asynchronously. So what I mean by that is there's usually a weekly lesson and a weekly assignment that you can kind of do at your own pace. So you typically have one assignment or discussion post that is due each week in all of your online courses. But again, you can work on your own time, which again, a lot of our students have other demands, whether they have full-time jobs, families. And so that is one nice thing about being an online program is that you kind of work on your own schedule. I do want to say a caveat. Almost all of our classes are asynchronous. However, when you get to your clinical experiences, when you get your practicum and internship, you are required to do one in-person class a week, which we can call our group supervision. So you meet with other students who are either in practicum or internship, and then you meet with your faculty supervisor. So that's a 2-hour requirement every week that you, again, when you get to your practicum and your internship experiences, that is the one synchronous class that you would have. And we also have residency with our online program. I don't know if that's on here, but I think important to share. So you have 2 courses. You have a skills course, which most of our students take their very first semester in the online program, sometimes their second, where you do come to Center City for a week and you get to do some in-person learning, and it's really a great time. And then you have your group counseling class, which is another residency. So those are kind of the in-person requirements that you have for the online program. Again, similar to the hybrid program, we have both full-time and part-time options. There's a lot of flexibility. You have up until 7 years to complete your degree. I do not suggest taking 7 years to complete your degree, but that is a requirement that once you start your degree, you do have to complete it within 7 years. The curriculum is pretty similar. Program for various licensure, not only in Minnesota, but across the country.
That might be a deal breaker.
This is a slight breakdown here. I think this is my last slide.
24 months asynchronous with weekly deadlines, 60
again, the hybrid program, evening
hours,
courses,
700 clinical hours.
Will take about half of your courses online, even if you're in the hybrid program. It's about 20 months. They both do have 700 hours of clinical experiences.
Minnesota.
In the same stream in the online program, it is primarily asynchronous, with the exception of your group supervision courses, which
so I think I'm going to do some more exploring.
Weekly once you get to practicum.
This is one set of information.
I think that's it. I think I'm going to pass it on to Dean Brown.
All right.
If you all have any questions, let me know.
Here at Hazelden Betty Ford Graduate School, you will meet all sorts of people who want to help you be successful. And here are just a couple of them. This is who you might lean on for advising and support while you're enrolled. And my guess is the 5 students and grads you'll hear from at the end are probably all shaking their heads up and down right now, like, yeah, they are awesome. Jessica Lackner is our student success advisor. As soon as you're admitted, she is going to be in touch with you about orientation and making sure your email.
Just struck me an easy recorded here.
She's really your go-to while enrolled to answer whatever questions come to mind. If she doesn't have the answer for you, she will help you track it down and just walk alongside you the whole way through. Deb Celine has been our registrar since the graduate school started. I hope she never retires, even though she starts talking about it from time to time. But she'll help advise you for your very first semester. And some of you might be thinking, oh, I don't know what this might look like for me. I have a full-time job. I need to go part-time for a few semesters and then go full-time or take a semester off. talk to Deb about that from the very beginning, and she'll help you create a roadmap that she'll magically just help some of that anxiety melt away and help you see that this is totally doable. You can handle this. Dr. Ginger Howell is our instructional designer and education technologist. That is a fancy way of saying she helps us make sure our online classes make sense to you no matter what kind of learner you are. She sets our online classes up so that they make sense. Everything is easy to find. Do you know where to look for your assignments? How to post to the discussion board? She makes sure that the syllabus makes sense for each class. So she's also someone you can lean on if you have technology questions of any kind. Ann Gett is probably the most mentioned employee when it comes to student surveys. She is amazing in helping you track down research that you need for your assignments. And she does not feel bothered if you tap her for assistance. She loves it. So if you don't know Anne, by the time you graduate, I don't even know how that's possible. You will know her and love her. I guarantee it. She's just down the hall from me, and she makes coffee on campus every day that she's here. So when you're here for residencies, if you're an online student, or if you come to campus for class, stop in to see her to get some coffee. She uses that to lure people in. She's fun. Okay, now raise your hand if you've already applied.
I can't raise my hand.
Now, keep in mind, I cannot see you. So nice job if you have applied. I love it. If you haven't applied yet, you can go to our website, and there are a lot of different spots where you can click on an apply button to get started. So you would go to our .edu, and note that there is not a GRE test required to apply, but all students are going to make sure that you turn in 3 professional references as part of the application process. And you are all going to submit an essay. And you'll find the very specific...
I'm going to put this down for St. Richard spot.
...application that you need to address when you're writing your essay. And I wouldn't even really think of it as an essay. It's more of a writing assignment, and you're just making sure to answer those 5 prompts, respond to 5 prompts. Now I'm going to get a little bit deeper into different ways to apply to our program. Some of you on our webinar today maybe have not attended an undergraduate institution, so you don't have an undergraduate transcript. If you do have one, certainly send it to us. And some of you during the application process will likely meet with us through an interview so that we can get to know you a little bit better and you can get to know us. So we like to make sure that this is all available way up front so you know what is involved.
Sorry about the shaky camera.
New at the graduate school, relatively new, is the alternative admissions pathway. It's an opportunity for people who don't have a 4-year undergraduate bachelor's degree. It's a way for you all to apply and potentially get admitted. So just know that you absolutely do need to have at least a high school diploma or a GED in order to start the application process. And I think it's important also to point out that you'll want to look into your state's licensure processes or certification processes for whatever it is you want to be in the future after you finish your education. What is the goal and what is necessary to reach that licensure or certification? Sometimes a bachelor's degree is necessary, and you would want to find that out before enrolling with us. But for the most part, your master's degree from the graduate school is going to be the biggest piece of your educational path that will be helpful for getting licensed or certified. So pathway number 1 through the alternative admissions pathway, you could submit 2 different pieces of evidence from this screen. And some of you have asked in the Q&A and in the questions, are the slides from this presentation available? Yes, you should be able to download all of the slides. So if you're taking copious notes, awesome, good job. You're taking screenshots, whatever, but the slides should be downloadable for you if you want to take a look at this information.
Hey, Paul Kirkpatrick, we're just taking a little webinar on the admissions for the Betty Hazelden Beth Ford graduate
for the next day or whenever it works out for you.
Got
on
the
this slide, the
Dean of Student Affairs on screen.
Might be one of these 5. Maybe you have a completed 2-year associate's degree from
while we do
a
this.
community or technical college. Maybe you have at least 60 credits of bachelor's degree work that you started at a 4-year university but didn't finish. Number 3, maybe you have a minimum of 2 years of military service. So then we would need your DD 214, for example. It's kind of like your military transcript. Maybe you're already a licensed or certified SUD counselor in your state. Then we would just need to have proof of that. And we can explain how to show proof through the application process. Number 5, a minimum of 2 years of direct helping profession related work experience or 4 years of consistent indirect helping profession experience. So that's for pathway 1. Maybe you can get admitted to pathway 1 or complete the application process.
How do you got the undergrads? Just no problem.
2 different components from this slide. Again, if you have questions, you can plug those into the Q&A or perhaps meet with someone here at the graduate school about your unique questions.
Well, if you're most interested in is financial support.
You would again look at those same components that I just read, pick just one of them.
Hey, Ben, hey, Watstein, we're just taking in a webinar from the Hazelden Betty Ford Graduate School.
We know that you maybe have one from Group A for Alternative Admissions Pathway 2. I'm not going to read all of these again. We're going to go to Group B. So maybe it's one thing from Group A and 2 from the screen you're looking at right now. 2 items from Group C. The first being current or recent volunteerism, at least 100 hours within the past 2 years. Or maybe it's documented training of a minimum of 24 hours in any field. Maybe that's workshops, continuing ed events, whatever it is. Number 3, active professional engagements, memberships, speaking engagements. Maybe you've presented or attended different conferences within the last 2 years. And then number 4, minimum of 30 college credit hours in any field. But keep in mind, if you've already used that idea through a different group, you can't double dip. So your undergraduate transcript would maybe count in Group A or Group B, but not both. Okay. Next, if you do want to get admitted for our next semester, the application deadlines are on screen. The next semester is winter, which begins in January. The application deadline for our online program is November 7. And if you're thinking about applying for the online program for our winter semester, start the application now because it usually takes you a good month to get everything turned in. And it's not always your piece that takes the longest. Sometimes it's getting your references to complete their responsibilities. Sometimes that takes the longest. So my advice there would be first ask them their permission, ask permission for you to list their email addresses, and then go into your application, plug in their email address.
So Harrowings is focusing on this bit
to their account
lately.
And then let them know.
Notice the post about 60 days if they like.
A request goes to their junk mail. And then my last bit of advice about that would be try to give them a deadline. If the application deadline is November 7, maybe say that you want them to have their piece turned in by November 1. So you still have a couple of days in case they forget. And the same is true for the hybrid program. That application deadline is December 5. And of course, if you have references saying good things on your behalf and helping you get admitted, make sure that you thank them and let them know what the outcome is. They for sure want to know whether or not their kind words maybe helped you along your professional and personal journey. The online program, the application sits so far in front of that January start because there's a 4-week online orientation that Jessica Laffner, our student success advisor, teaches. And she spends 4 weeks, probably 5 to 7 hours per week on your own schedule, helping you learn how to utilize our online learning platform. It's called Populi. You all say that? Populi? Keep in mind, I can't hear you. But she shows you how to use that so that when the first day of the semester goes live, you know how to navigate the system. So she teaches you how to drive, and then she turns over the keys, and there you go. You are off and driving. Okay, international students. I read all the different countries that you all are from today. So international students, you are admissible to our hybrid program here in Minnesota. And the application deadlines each semester sit way in front of the start. So if you want to start with us in January for winter semester, the application deadline for you is October 1st. The semester starts in May, but the application deadline is in March, and so on. So it's way in front of the start of the term because of visas and moving to Minnesota and finding housing.
Hey, Giovanna. Good to have you with us.
If you are a Canadian student,
I'm looking for it. Yeah. And I don't blame anyone for leaving, but I am taking in this webinar.
Living right where you are. If you're from Alberta, Manitoba.
Much of this is not applicable, but I'm interested in this. This is the Betty Ford Graduate School. It was recommended to me by my friend Annie, who's highly placed out in Colorado and
the upcoming year.
Worked together in Pittsburgh for many years, or 4 years.
Keep in mind that's multiplied times
97 to 2000, so 3 years.
That's just
pretty tight.
There will be fees on that.
PhD in the field, so that's interesting to me.
Your living experience.
She's also a nut, which appeals to me.
Can you apply for scholarships and grants? Absolutely. During 2024, the whole year, we added up all of the scholarships and grants for 2024, and that was around $350,000 that were awarded to our students. Amazing, right? I do want to say, however, no students get a full ride. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to hopefully get scholarships and grants, and that's how I will pay for enrollment, we don't have full rides. So you will still need to pay out of pocket or use loans to cover your education with us. We do encourage you to fill out the free application for federal student aid called FAFSA. Strange little acronym to pronounce. And the application process for that is through the federal government. Yeah. And you see the information here on how to apply for FAFSA, that free application for federal student aid.
Yep.
The number you need to plug in so that we here at our graduate
school code.
That school code is on the bottom of the screen, 040443.
And that's the way it goes.
Eligibility for scholarships and grants. First of all, you have to be admitted here. You have to be an accepted student, and then you can apply for scholarships and grants. I send out what's available probably around November 1st for the December
scholarship and grants are awarded after you've been accepted.
That's because we have a constantly shifting and changing scholarship and grant pool based on our generous donors who want to provide funds for you. So November-ish is when I will message what's available for the upcoming semester. And you usually need to have FAFSA on file so we know what your need is. And you need to be enrolled in at least 5 credits with us and get your application for scholarships and grants turned in by December 1. Some of them that are available are here. Again, I'm not going to read each of them. Just as you take a peek, you can see just kind of how much is available to students. And another one that's amazing, if you're already working in the field and you know that your organization is a member of NATAP and NAATP, you might be eligible for a $10,000 scholarship. So you might want to look into that. Ask your HR department whether or not your organization
I've definitely looked at Annie as one of my
Association of Addiction Treatment Providers.
professional recommenders. Possibly some
just building relationships with us. You would contact the financial
and do a little networking.
if you have questions about.
That's one of the things I'm doing here at Substack is networking. I can put my rear end off.
Grants, the VA benefits, or a account. And the people
so it's supposed to last about an hour.
Are Leslie Fang or Jennifer Olson. And the email address that is best for these two is to use the financial aid at hazeldenbettyford.edu account. And they would be able to assist you with your specific questions.
Yep, that sounds good.
Keep your questions
student alumni panels
over in the Q&A. And I am going to queue up our first graduate presenter, Harold, who is joining us.
Oh, Harold Walker the Third. I'm a Harold the Third myself.
Unless you're traveling or you
Master of Arts Counseling specialty, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Would you like to take yourself off mute?
We got some Minnesotans and another North Carolinian.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
So here we go.
I want to go ahead and say congratulations to I already know you already going to
roller skating.
Yes. The great thing about Hazleton is they're going to help you with the license, let you know what is going to be required to get your license. That's very important in the counseling field, is knowing if in the state what's the license to get the license that you want for the mental health or addiction counseling, which was very important. The reason why I picked Hazleton, I ran to a stumbling block due to COVID. And I followed up, found Hazleton, and was truly blessed to find this book. So I just think you take the time to, roll, go to your state, find out the board, but even Hazleton will help you with that information. Part of my background, currently I work at a 120 bed facilities on men, Charlotte, North Carolina, that deal with addiction. I work at a nonprofit, and the education that I have obtained here has really helped me work with the men that I serve. So you're getting a phenomenal education if you attend Hazleton, and you are learning counseling skills hand-on. The great thing about when you fly out to Minnesota and do the the internship and come out there is you.
Hey, the Creator's Place. This is just a little webinar I'm attending
to meet the staff.
The Graduate School of Hazel Betty Ford.
I can't speak
about maybe becoming an addictions counselor.
And the reason why I even volunteered
to the master's program.
So important. So I'm going to hand off.
I know there's shorter routes, cheaper routes, but I think this was recommended by my friend Danny Peters, who's a PhD out in Colorado,
and once again, welcome.
And knows where she speaks. Annie and I spent a lot of time together in Pittsburgh, 1997 to 2000, and I trust her suggestion.
My name's Haley. I use they, them pronouns. I graduated from the graduate school this year in 2025. I did the hybrid program. So I was in person and online. During graduate school, I worked as a patient care technician in Center City. So on the same campus that I was doing graduate school. Really appreciated my time of being able to do that. And there is some benefits to being able to being an employee and being a graduate student.
So this is going to be available on YouTube as well.
Benefits, of course, and there are also costs with time and pacing.
I figure no harm in sharing it. I doubt if anybody is watching it with me, but if you are,
to sustain ourselves.
I'm trying to talk over it too much.
But I really recommend pacing yourself. The job will always be there. Graduate school will always be there, but your mental health may not. So prioritize yourself and make sure that you're taking care of yourself, even with all of these stressors that you're doing. Speaking of job, after graduation, I have started to work at Hazelden St. Paul location, a day treatment program. Really appreciate my time there. The graduate school has set me up with a great baseline of, like Harold had brought in, of tons of information
learning new things. I had a lot of community there that I got to learn from, grow, change, learn new perspectives. And that baseline has allowed me to form and create some of those more refined counseling skills. And like this program has talked about, we are shifting from that more traditional just addiction counseling and going into addiction and mental health. And I'm really seeing that represented throughout my time there. My biggest advice, my second other biggest advice for students is to reach out to Anne, like Leanne said. Anne is a incredible resource. I reached out to her a lot during graduate school. I got to be able to use resources that were really relevant and new. At one point, I got to use a reference from the current year, and I wouldn't have been able to do that if I wouldn't have been able to reach out to Anne. So having her as a resource is fantastic. Get her help, ask her questions.
14 people logging in. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, that is the biggest things that I have, and then I am going to pass it on to Kayla.
Alrighty. Hi, everyone. I'm Kayla. I'm from the Twin Cities, specifically Eden Prairie, Minnesota. It's an honor to be here with all of you. Welcome. I really hope you'll choose the grad school. It's one of the best decisions I've made for myself. I'm in my 4th semester currently in the hybrid program. And I come from a teaching background, so I taught for 3 years before coming to this program. And I really value the grad school for all the opportunities it provides to do research and learning opportunities outside of just the initial classes that you get at the school. I'm having the opportunity to present at the March conference this fall, which is a big addiction and recovery conference, and presenting with a paper there, which has been a really cool opportunity to have. And something that I really didn't expect about grad school is just how much you're going to learn in such a short amount of time, especially if you're doing the accelerated program.
Yep.
They really throw you through a lot, but you get a lot of hands-on learning experience, and you'll get to know your cohort really well. So you'll get a lot of professional resources and peer support in that way. And I think my biggest piece of advice for future students is to just use the resources that the school has, kind of echoing what Haley said. Anne has really great resources for helping with research and assignments. Your professors are there and want to help you succeed. So letting them know if you're struggling or having a hard time, they're really supportive. And I've had a really great experience with all of my professors at the school. And just being open about your communication and where you're at, especially if you're struggling with your mental health. I've had some struggles and have needed to take a step back a few times, and they've been really supportive of that. So just using those resources. And with that, I think I'll pass it on to Jennifer.
So Jennifer's an online student. That'll be more interesting seeing what the
Thank you so much for being here. You guys could be starting such an amazing journey, and I'm really excited for you.
Amazing journey.
My name is Jennifer. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a part-time student. I'm on the online program, and I have a unique background. I did employment law, legal, and then stepped into employee relations, and then decided I was going to make a big switch. I'm passionate about serving the Jewish community and the unhoused population in Minneapolis and the Twin Cities community. And that focus in serving that community resources with education, harm reduction, advocacy, and outreach really brought me to this next step and brought me to Hazelton. So I'm currently wrapping up a fellowship year with the Minority Fellowship Program through the NBCC and NADAT. I think that part of the reason that I have had that experience is because I did choose the Hazelton Ready Ford Graduate School of Addiction Studies. Their reputation, their legacy, their leadership in the addiction, just their long legacy in addiction and addiction studies, along with their commitment to co-occurring disorders, is really really huge. It was important to me. And the other piece that really meant a lot to me for my journey was the ability to have the asynchronous style for learning, because it gave me so much autonomy. I have three kiddos who are 5, 9, and 16. And I really needed the autonomy in my journey in order to make everything work. And this not only was what I perceived to be the best choice academically, but it also was the best choice for my life and my lifestyle. Um, on top of that, I just want to let you guys know how much I'm loving my educational journey. I'm in my third year because I'm part time. And I am loving being a student because of the doors that it's opening for me. And being a student for a longer time has helped me see all of the ways that being a student at this particular graduate school has continuously opened doors one after the next. I'm introduced to people in the field on a regular basis. I'm meeting alumni and getting those connections all the time. It's a wonderful network to be a part of. And I personally am feeling more and more capable um, in the ability to understand both mental health disorders and substance use disorders. So that co-occurring that we've been talking about throughout the presentation is something that I'm really connecting with. And with the populations I serve, that's so important. I also want to shout out to the faculty. We have amazing faculty here, and that is, I think that's hard to find. So it's a real gift to the students. They're responsive, they're brilliant, and they really care. So those are really wonderful, wonderful things for us to be able to have. And then I'll echo the support. We've got, like everyone said, an amazing librarian who is on it and loves what she does. She loves to support us and she loves her research. Additionally, we have Dr. Howell is fantastic. As someone who is learning from her kitchen, dining room table, I have really appreciated the support technology wise that I have received from Dr. Howell along the way. I want to also plug self-care. If you choose this program or any program for graduate school, self-care is so huge. It's something that's going to be different for everybody. Not everybody is going to be able to take self-care in the same way, and you really have to figure out what works for you. So that's the journey in of itself, and it's a really important one. So I'm just wanting to kind of end with that and plug it. Last thing. I entered this program saying, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with all of this at the end. But after I went to my first residency, I came home and I said, but I know it's going to make me a better person at the end of the day. Thanks, guys. Hi, everyone. My name's Christine.
John Smith, good to have you with us.
I'm one of the last student alumni presenters. And so everything that has been said, 100% agree with. Just to give you a little bit of background of me and my experience
Christina
as part of a graduate program here at Hazel and Betty Ford Foundation. I am in my final semester, finishing up my internship too here with HBFF Grad School. I am beyond excited and honored to be asked to be able to speak to all of you today and just share my experience, because it has been a long and winding road for me, but I am here and I can't believe it. And I'm so excited. And so I chose the Hazel and Betty Ford Graduate School really because of the mission and values of the school, of the organization, to empower recovery and well-being for all. That really resonated for me in what I wanted to do. Like some of my fellow students, peers here, I was someone who changed career paths, found a calling to do something in this field. And I really wanted to grow and learn somewhere that challenges stigma when it comes to addiction and substance use disorder. Also, somewhere that's at the cutting edge of
science and research in the fields of mental health and substance use. And that's what I found here. And I did a lot of research to get to this point. I actually was attending a different graduate school and found that it wasn't a good fit for me. And I ended up transferring to the graduate school here, which was by far the best decision I've ever made, never looking back. And that was a seamless process for me. The staff here made it so easy for me to do that. And
Hey, Ishmael Hodges, I'm just attending a webinar, so I'm filming it for my own use. I'm also sharing it.
For
This
Hazelden
is
Betty
for
Ford Foundation at this point, and I
Hazelden Betty Ford Graduate School.
and have been attending grad school online part-time. A couple things that concerned me were being disconnected, working remote, virtually, being online. But there are so many opportunities to connect with your fellow students, with the faculty, the professors, to network. And you're really encouraged to, and it's built into the program, which was awesome. I also worked with a lot of the people who've been mentioned on this call today to create a roadmap for my courses each semester because I was overwhelmed about how am I going to do work full time, balance life, balance all of these things. And it has really paid off and it has worked really well for me. I'm most impressed by the faculty and how supportive and accommodating everybody wants you to be successful here. And that's the reason I'm here and about to graduate is because of all of the support I've received from everyone at this school. I was told by many people in my life that I couldn't do it all. I couldn't work full time. I couldn't go to graduate school. I couldn't do my internships and get my clinical experience and get to the point where I am now. But I am, in fact, here. And so it is just a wonderful experience to get to share this with you all and share my story with you all. And I just wish you all the best of luck and success as you move forward on this journey for yourselves.
Thank you, Lucina, and all of you who presented today. I really appreciate your sharing, your perspective. What a wide variety of experiences and backgrounds for all of you. It's really cool to hear. And I'm guessing that those of you who are participating, those of you we can't see, you are coming to us from all different backgrounds and it's just so fun to have you in our classrooms, whether it's virtual or across the hallway in the building here at the graduate school where I'm situated today. So a couple other questions that had come in, and I want to just have everybody get a chance to hear the response to this. What are online classes like here at the graduate school? Do any of you students or grads want to jump in and answer that one? What are online classes like? You can unmute and share.
Hi, this is Jennifer. I've been online now for three and a half years. I lose track. And it's very seamless. You get into a routine and every week we have a new week to go to. So you click on your week and you learn what the expectations are for that week. You are able to go ahead and click ahead on which week you're curious about. So if you have something coming up that you want to be prepared for, you can kind of jump ahead and learn what those expectations are. Typically, you're going to see that you have.
So I just did a little typing of a message into the chat because I had come and gone.
To watch.
And
then you're going to have a discussion post where you're going to post to a discussion board and you're going to answer a question or have a reflection about what you've read, what you've watched, maybe a combination of the two. And that is for the people who are in that course with you, your classmates to review, for your professor to review. And then you're going to respond to the other discussion posts that the other classmates have written. Typically it's 2, sometimes it's 1, but then you'll write a reply. And then people might reply to you. So then you'll kind of have a discussion about what your response was and what they connected with, or maybe what they disagreed with. And you can kind of go from there. Papers, you have a heads up on, so you know when they're coming, you can be prepared for that. And it's, you have a
So
solution
there you
at the
go.
very beginning. You know what's coming. And again, professors are wonderful about getting back to you with questions. There's a place to ask questions there. You have their email. So nothing's ever a surprise.
Very good. Well, we are almost at time, and I greatly appreciate that you all have spent the last 1 hour with us. Some of you logged on extra early and you're still with us. Love that. Really appreciate it. And I do want to encourage you to continue staying in touch with us, ask us questions. On your screen, I think that you can see different ways to email or sign up for Zoom meetings so that we can meet just one-on-one as well. If there's any information that we did not share with you today, or we didn't cover it, or it's unique to you, feel free to ask us in email or give us a call. We would love to help you however we can. If the slides for some reason were not available for you to download, we can send those to you as well through email. Whatever you need, we're here. We'll make it happen. But I greatly appreciate the fact that you have heard this calling and you're acting on it. I think you're awesome for being here today and considering what it might look like to be an addiction and mental health counselor in the future. You're a good person. Thank you for being here, and we look forward to staying in touch. And thank you to all of our presenters today as well. So round of applause from everybody out there joining me on that. But go on with the rest of your day or evening and stay in touch, please. Bye-bye.
Okay, guys, that was the end of that. So I'm going to think about scheduling a meeting with the graduate school person. Get about 30 minutes with them. Maybe tomorrow. Have a general discussion. Don't think that's a bad idea. So let's see. We're going to end it here, and thank you for joining.